For over 2,000 years, Christians and historians alike have pondered the final resting place of Jesus of Nazareth. After his crucifixion, where was he laid to rest? And, just as crucially, where did the resurrection take place? Today, we embark on a journey through history, theology, and archaeology to explore the potential locations of Jesus' tomb. Before diving into the possible locations, we must understand why this tomb is so important. The burial and resurrection of Jesus form the cornerstone of Christian belief. If the resurrection happened, as the Gospels claim, then the tomb where he was laid would have been empty on the third day. The Gospel accounts agree on key details. 1. Jesus was crucified outside the city walls of Jerusalem. 2. His body was taken down and placed in a new tomb. 3. The tomb was owned by Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy Jewish follower of Jesus. 4. The tomb was sealed with a large stone. And 5. On the third day, the tomb was empty. With this in mind, we turn our attention to what the Scripture says about his burial. Before investigating the possible locations of Jesus' tomb, we must first turn to the most detailed accounts of his burial, the 4 Gospels. Each Gospel tells us that after Jesus was crucified, a man named Joseph of Arimathea requested his body from the Roman governor Pilate. This was an unusual request. Crucifixion victims were often left unburied as a further form of humiliation. But Joseph, a wealthy and influential member of the Sanhedrin, risked his reputation to ensure Jesus received a proper burial. Matthew 27:59-60 tells us, Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in his own new tomb that he had cut out of the rock. He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away. Mark 15:46 confirms that Jesus was laid in a tomb carved out of rock. John 19:39 adds an interesting detail. Another follower of Jesus, Nicodemus, brought 75 pounds of myrrh and aloes, expensive spices used for embalming. Such an extravagant amount honored Jesus as a king. Luke 23:55-56 tells us that 2 women, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus, observed where he was laid and planned to return after the Sabbath to complete the burial rituals. This scriptural evidence helps us understand what to look for in identifying Jesus' tomb. It had to be a rock-cut tomb, large enough for a sealed stone entrance, owned by Joseph of Arimathea, close to the crucifixion site. With this in mind, let's examine the leading contenders for Jesus' burial site. For centuries, the most widely accepted site of Jesus' tomb has been the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, located in the heart of Jerusalem's Old City. This massive church, nestled within the Old City, has been a place of Christian pilgrimage for nearly 1,700 years. But why is this site so significant? The church was built by Emperor Constantine in the 4th century. His mother, Empress Helena, traveled to the Holy Land around 326 AD, searching for key locations connected to Jesus' life. Local Christians pointed to this site, claiming it was the place of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. Soon after, Constantine ordered the temple destroyed and built a grand basilica over the site. Why do scholars support this site? Well, the site was outside Jerusalem's city walls in the 1st century, aligning with the Gospel accounts. Archaeologists have confirmed that this area was indeed a Jewish burial ground outside Jerusalem's city walls during Jesus' time. This matches the Gospel descriptions quite closely. Excavations have revealed rock-cut tombs from the right time period. Early Christian traditions strongly supported this location. Early Christian writings, including those of Eusebius, refer to this site as the location of Jesus' burial. In 2016, researchers were granted rare access to study the burial shelf inside the church. When they removed the marble cladding, they discovered a limestone surface consistent with 1st century tombs. However, skeptics argue that Constantine's decision relied on tradition rather than direct evidence. A little over a mile away from the Church of the Holy Sepulchre lies the Garden Tomb. This site offers a stark contrast, a quiet, peaceful garden setting, often preferred by Protestant Christians. It was identified in the 19th century by British General Charles Gordon, who believed it fit the biblical description more accurately than the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Garden Tomb is located near a rocky outcrop that some believe resembles a skull, possibly the Golgotha mentioned in the Bible. Furthermore, the tomb itself is hewn out of solid rock and has a rolling stone entrance, similar to what the Gospels describe. But there's a problem. Most archaeologists date this tomb to the 8th or 7th century BC, hundreds of years before Jesus' time, making it unlikely to be the new tomb Joseph of Arimathea had cut. Additionally, there is little historical evidence linking early Christians to this site, so while the garden tomb may offer a serene environment for reflection, it is unlikely to be the actual tomb of Jesus. Thus, while the garden tomb is a powerful place of worship, it is unlikely to be the actual burial site. In 1980, a rock-cut tomb was discovered in the Talpiot neighborhood of Jerusalem. Inside, archaeologists found ossuaries, bone boxes with names like Jesus, son of Joseph, and Mary. Some have speculated that this could be Jesus' actual family tomb. This site gained international attention in 2007 with the documentary The Lost Tomb of Jesus, which suggested this was Jesus' family tomb. However, most scholars reject this theory. These were common names at the time, and there is no strong evidence linking the site to Jesus of Nazareth. Furthermore, the idea of Jesus' bones being buried contradicts Christian belief in the resurrection. While an intriguing discovery, most scholars dismiss the Talpiot tomb as unrelated to Jesus of Nazareth. At the heart of Christianity is not the location of the tomb, but what happened there. All four Gospels tell us that on Sunday morning, women arrived at the tomb to an astonishing sight. The stone was rolled away and Jesus' body was gone. Luke chapter 24, verses 6 and 7 records the angel's words, "He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you. The Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again." Whether we ever locate the exact tomb or not, one truth remains: the tomb was empty. For Christians, this is the foundation of faith. Jesus' resurrection offers hope that death is not the end and that life triumphs over the grave. As scholars and archaeologists continue their search, the question remains open. While the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains the strongest candidate, the garden tomb offers a meaningful place of reflection, and other sites present intriguing mysteries. But in the end, the precise location may not be as important as the message it represents. The tomb is empty, Jesus has risen, and that is the greatest discovery of all.